lastly here, I guess on this topic, I'll say you've seen both sides of the spectrum here from football and pro wrestling about how talent is developed, how these performance centers operate. How does the environment for the WWE's performance center compare to the NFL and the way their talents are brought up when it comes to mentors and other people around them putting in their head the kinds of things that you're bringing up right now?
Well, I think for me, I was very lucky to come to a team that had Adam Vinatieri on it. He was the greatest of all time when it came to kicking balls. Although I wasn't a field goal kicker when I came to the Indianapolis Colts, I was a punter. The mentality of being a specialist is the same thing, where you got to be able to focus on what your task, your skill set, your specialty. But then off the field, I got a chance to watch Vinatieri live his life as well. He's a family man. He's got 3 kids. He's got a museum of a house. I mean, his house is a monster out here. But when it comes to coming into a place and watching the OGs and the vets perform and the way they interact with, whether it's the foundations that the Colts worked with, or whether it was the people that came out to practices to chit chat with us, or the children's hospital or anything like that. Whenever you see OGs do something in your head, you're like, okay, that's how I'm supposed to act.
Yeah.
If Vinatieri, who's the greatest of all time, is acting that way, that's how I'm supposed to act. If Peyton Manning donated, I think, $10 million to start a children's hospital here in Indianapolis, the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, whenever you see something like that happen, you're like, okay, not only can I be great on the football field, I can also be great off the field. And I think that's the same type of thing that's happening down at the Performance Center. There's a lot of work getting done in those rings and in that weight room and on the microphone. But also you got a lot of people that have done a lot of good in the world, leading the way for these younger generation and the future superstars of the world. And I think with the way the WWE has philanthropically affected the world, not just the United States, we're talking about worldwide, I think it sets a good example and a precedent for other publicly traded companies to kind of make the world a better place. And that's what Lisa Sleep is doing. That's what I'm trying to do. And hopefully, if we can leave the world a better place than we found it, that's really what we're here for.
Pat, I do. I absolutely love it. All right, we'll switch gears here a little bit. As much as I could sit here and talk to you about advocacy about these social issues and things like that, I know that the wrestling fans out there right now very interested on your take of your first WrestleMania weekend, a part of WWE. You will be a part of the kickoff panel for Takeover New York, correct?
Yes, sir. I was also down there last year in New Orleans. That was my first time. That was my first appearance with the WWE.
Oh, really?
I was on the...
Oh, wow. I feel like a dick. Has it been a full year since you've been with the WWE?
Oh, Nick Hausman there. Yeah, we're coming up on a year anniversary, and it was from then till now, I was mind blown just to be a part of anything that had the WWE label on it, and I still am. But what I think I've learned the most is that the humans that are calling the shots with the WWE and giving me the microphone and the platform and the ability to do and say very dumb things on their network are just good people. And it's been a fun year, a fun ride. And I can't wait to get to New York and New Jersey. I'm also on the WrestleMania Kickoff show. I don't know if that news has been broken yet. I think they're going to let me have at least 2, maybe a minute and a half on there. And I had to buy a tuxedo. Vince McMahon, Michael Cole told me that if Vince McMahon sees me dressed terribly like I normally am, he'll never let me on TV again. So this has been an entire experience. But we're coming up on a year anniversary of me making content with the WWE, and I'm very, very excited for it, as is the rest of the wrestling world. I mean, this is our Super Bowl. This is big time. All the indie shows coming to town, a lot of talking, panels, this, that. It's just a time to celebrate the greatest male soap opera on earth, and that's professional wrestling.
Wow. Well, full year here, and now you're getting called up to the big show here with WrestleMania. I mean, how much different does it feel for you walking in to do a WrestleMania panel as opposed to a TakeOver panel?
I had to buy a tuxedo. I felt like I was in high school going to prom again. It's a why. I'll tell you, I've followed all the storylines, so I feel good about my knowledge and the things that I'll say about the WrestleMania show. But to be honest, the only thing I'm thinking about right now is Vince McMahon seeing me on TV, probably for the first time. He probably has no idea that I even do anything with NXT, and him just not wanting to fire me immediately or kiss his ass, which would be good.
Come on, Vince loves big dudes. He loves football players. I'm sure that you guys are going to get along great. I mean, well, tell me a little bit about your relationship with Vince. How's it been meeting the man, getting to know him, work alongside him, that kind of deal?
Oh, yeah, it's been awesome. I shook his hand one time. We talked for about 6 seconds, and then he left. And that is it. That is absolutely it. Michael Cole told me, he asked one question, like, who who was the guy with the jorts? I guess was the question he asked. And Michael Cole said, that's Pat McAfee. He used to be a punter for the Colts. And then that's all I really know of Vince McMahon, even knowing that I exist. Hopefully this upcoming WrestleMania, if I get to say much on the pre-show, obviously bring some electricity to the microphone. I think the tuxedo that I got at Macy's looks damn good as well. I mean, it's a $47 tuxedo. I think he's going to respect that. He's going to like it. And hopefully we'll be able to blossom this relationship into something special in the future. Well, much to the chagrin of some wrestling fans, I assume, but also hopefully bring some electric content along the way.
True story. When I went to prom, I got a zoot suit tuxedo. I don't know if you want to go that route or not, but they're pretty classy. They got a certain look to them.
I'll tell you what, Nick, the zoot suit riot was definitely a thought. Canadian tuxedo, also a thought. Just want to let that be known. But sure. I put the trigger on something with some little pop, little flair, and it's either going to be loved or hated by Vince. And I think that's kind of me with everybody. So I'm pretty pumped up about it.